We've got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, the astronauts that were stranded in space for a long time, months and months, have finally been rescued. So congratulations, guys. I hope you have a great homecoming. And I don't know if you're ever going to want to go into space again. But if you do, I hope it's a shorter journey. And I hope all goes well. So yeah, this is awesome news. So hats off to the rescuers and everybody involved. And I bet they and their families are just going to be overjoyed to see each other again. Finally, my God, can you imagine? That's nuts, guys. It's a nutty situation, but it's finally over. Finally over. Meanwhile, Chris Sharp has an article about whether or not UFO disclosure has fizzled under the new administrations. He says UAP advocates such as Representatives Burleson, Luna, and Burchett are not to blame. Rather, the stagnation stems from a lack of leadership and direction on UAP from both the White House and congressional leadership. Dan Farrer, the director behind the movie Age of Disclosure, has been told by leaders in both political parties that they intend to use the film as a stepping stone to bring the truth out. I don't know how that's going to, solve any leadership issues. If they want to tell us the truth, I think they're going to tell us the truth, and if they don't, they are not. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let's see. I think it was Richard Dolan that also had some comments on where we're at right now.
Well, they're going after the deep state. This is deep state corruption as they see it, and restoring trust in government, and all of the things that I believe most of us, whether you're on the left or the right, I would like to think we would care about. So where are they? What is happening with the Luna Committee? I'm not saying that they've bailed, but I'm hearing talk. I'm not getting direct information here, but that it's a very slow pace. There's certainly no major communication coming out from them or from the Trump administration in connection to this. I'm not sure if this is yet their thing to do. I think, Congress is taking the lead on this, but we haven't really heard anything. So it's not surprising that some people would be a little nervous that, is this being stalled? Is this being derailed by internal resistance or maybe sabotage coming from outside? I don't know. I'm just tossing out a couple of possibilities here. It's not impossible. I don't think we would say that.
Yeah, it's definitely not impossible that there's some sabotage. Of course, there's going to be sabotage in UFO disclosure. I mean, we've seen like 70 or 80 years of sabotage involving UFO disclosure. Will it come from the executive branch? Do we require leadership of the executive branch on this issue? I don't think we're going to get it from the president. I think multiple presidents have been read into the topic to some degree. I don't know how deep that goes, but I think they have been read into some degree. Just they need to be at a certain point, like the mystery drones. I don't think that Trump believes those are FAA approved craft, but he had that statement ready to go, and he ran with it because once you're read in, you're obligated to lie about this stuff. I think that presidents aren't going to be able to tell us the truth. It's going to have to come from Congress. I think this, task force led by Anna Polina Luna is a good start. I mean, we've had good starts before with the hearings and so on. So I guess this is really more of a continuation. But what I'm talking about is the ultimate creation of a select committee. I think that if the task force can get enough just one good solid UFO crash retrieval file, if they can declassify that, that could justify the creation of a select committee with subpoena power and real authority to get something done. And that's what we need, is some sort of permanent body with authority to get something done. Now that could be a UFO czar. Lou Elizondo has definitely been campaigning for that. But we need something. We need more than we have. Of course, if we got one good UFO file with stuff that could be verified and followed up on, boom, that's UFO disclosure. we really don't need them to declassify much to get us to actual UFO disclosure. So I think it's going to come from Congress and not the executive branch. I think that's just the way it has to be. Now, I think that the president does have to sign off on declassifying some of the stuff. So will that happen? That's my question. Tucker Carlson and Chris Cuomo have a conversation about this very similar thing.
And even with UAPs or UFOs, whatever terminology you want, we couldn't get more information. These things are all over the place. Sure, some are helicopters, some are fixed wing. Okay, not all of them. And they don't know? Of course they know.
Well, but what are they, do you think?
I don't know what they are. The point is that they know, and they won't tell us things. Well, I think it is anathema to democracy.
Of course I agree with everything you're saying except one specific point, which is I'm not sure they know.
They have programmed. They certainly know more than we do. Put it that way.
They do. They may know that they don't really know, which is the scariest thing of all.
Well, again, these are your people. Why don't you talk to them? They love you.
Oh my gosh, I have. And
so what do you got
And
for
I
me?
think
come all the way down here.
We don't
Cross
know.
All these
we
bridges.
don't know. And I think that's kind of the scarier answer is
flying over military bases,
shutting them down,
and you
shutting down military.
Yeah, and
bases.
you don't shoot them down, and then figure out what it was.
Well, maybe you can't. So that's. So look, I mean, I think we're getting to the same answer if there is a very obvious mystery that's publicly known, there's public pressure to solve the mystery, to divulge what you know, and you don't.
Yes.
Then there's a real reason behind it.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're at. Is I think that there are people that know at least something, and there is a reason why they're not telling us. Whether that's eroding their own power structure, the energy industry and so on, or if that's whether to do about freaking people out about alien abductions and stuff like that. We just don't really know what's going on, but we do know some things. There are elements within the control group, the UFO control group, that are assisting NHI and abductions. So yeah, those people know some stuff. Those guys know a lot more than we do, and they know what they're doing, and presumably they know why they are keeping quiet about all of this. Now, is that to preserve their own power structure, or is that for our own benefit? I tend to think that it's more along the lines of preserving their own power structure, and that we need oversight of these programs, those black programs that are, again, helping abduct people. So, yeah, we need public oversight of those programs. They may be need to be dismantled and rebuilt, hopefully without the abduction stuff. But we need to know what they're going on, what's going on, what they're doing. We need full and transparent operation of the government. This is supposed to be the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And right now, that's not what's going on. We need to restore trust and faith in government. And we need to know what the heck is going on. What is the shape of our reality? But I agree that there is probably a reason they're not telling us. What do you think that reason is? Meanwhile, Governor Mark DeWine is talking about unexplained drones over his home state of Ohio. Now he goes into mundane explanations for these drones, but there's clearly an impetus for him talking about drones, and it's not all about using drones to carry drugs in and out of prison. Mundane drones, which is something that he addresses here. But he is concerned about drones, and I think that might say a lot.
There's a much bigger problem with drones, and the federal government is going to have to address it because we do not, even in law enforcement, have the ability to do what we need to do with drones that might be in a potentially dangerous place. We in the state government deal with drones all the time because they are flying over our prisons, and that has been used as one way to get drugs into prison. The drone goes through and makes it drop. Now, we have pretty good control over it. We now can detect those. We have the equipment to detect those.
Okay, he goes on, but they have control over the drones going in and out of prison. They can detect them and control that issue, but yet he's still very concerned about the drone situation. I think the impetus for this has got to be the mystery drones. He doesn't really get into that. But yeah, we have mysterious drones that are still flying around the world right now, shutting down airports, doing all sorts of stuff. Why, guys? Why are they there? What is the reason for the mystery drone phenomenon? Is it NHI? It's got to be at this point, right? Otherwise, why would they lie about it so consistently? And why would it have such a global aspect to it? It's not just enemies of America spying on us. They're shutting down airports, in India and Turkey, and China. I'm not satisfied that it's FAA approved drones for research and other purposes, whatever those purposes are. But yeah, governors are talking about this. They're trying to put pressure on the government or the administration to do something about it, to address this. Congress is pushing for answers. So I'm still optimistic that we're going to get the ball rolling further than it has been so far. Maybe not as far as we want it to go, though. Meanwhile, from the Daily Mail, secret U.S. spy plane is tracked making mysterious lap around UFO hotspot. A U.S. military aircraft fitted with sophisticated radar technologies was caught traveling 1,300 miles across the country to a UFO hotspot. The Boeing E-3B Sentry, dubbed America's ultimate spy plane, left Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma Thursday around 7 a.m. The plane flew over the coast of North Carolina, where it made 2 circles around Pamlico Sound and returned to base at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, Pamlico Sound is an interesting place. This is a possible UFO sighting at Pamlico Sound Lagoon, North Carolina.
Anybody tell me what that is?
Now, some people think these are flares, or that this can be explained by mundane means. So, let me know if you think this is a mundane sighting or if this is
No
NHI.
land, no nothing.
Okay, we don't care about the sea. Focus on the flares or the UFOs. But yeah, so this is a potential example of what we're talking about in Pamlico Sound, if indeed it is a UFO hotspot. And now we have secret U.S. spy planes making mysterious laps around this hotspot. Now, Dr. Robert Shipe, who has pioneered research into the Dragon UFO issue, it has seen that there is a pattern of police and military helicopters in Marina del Rey, where he is. And yeah, they seem to be aware of the phenomenon and surveilling it or tracking it or engaged with it in some way. He even has one interpolation of video photos that seems to show a military helicopter or a police helicopter potentially firing some sort of exotic weapon at it, like an energy weapon that causes the Dragon UAP to dip and then it recovers. Actually, it gets a little assistance from a fellow Dragon UAP, and I've shown that video before, and of course, Robert has it up on his channel. But yeah, the authorities know about some of this stuff. They're working against it in some cases and surveilling it in other cases. And sometimes they're working with it and assisting it in whatever goals it has. Meanwhile, I talked about Scientology the other day. I think Scientology has really fascinating connections to some of this stuff. And some of the key players have been involved in Scientology. They've been Scientologists. And in fact, there's, even some suggestion that the CIA may have used one or more of these guys, I think Hal Pudolph or Ingo Swann, to actually spy on the Church of Scientology because they were interested in what the Scientologists were doing, the tech that they had. Could the Scientologists actually have, be plugged into some real knowledge? They're not just a crazy cult. They're actually legit on some level. Who are these guys? And then there's the other idea that, Pat Price might have even been murdered by the CIA because of his connections to Scientology and his loyalty to Scientology, even briefing people in Scientology about what he was doing for the CIA. Russell Targ suggests that the CIA might be responsible for Pat Price's untimely end. And I'll get to Russell Targ in a minute. But here, Danny Sheehan is outlining what he has been told are the beliefs of Scientology.
That the Church of Scientology believes that there's a major confrontation going on between reptilian extraterrestrial species from Zeta Reticuli and the people from the Pleiades. And that the Pleiades are the good guys that look just like us. They're like Homo sapiens. They're these reptilians, and the reptilians are trying to take over our planet, and that they've struck a deal with an element inside our United States intelligence and defense infrastructure, and that they're engaged in trying to transform the climate of our planet, to turn the heat up on our planet and have it be more jungly and hot and stuff, because the reptilian people want to be able to
enjoy the warmth.
Yeah, and that they believe that they are assigned, or they've taken upon themselves the assignment to stop this horrible thing from happening. That they're on the side of the Palladians, and that they're opposed to the reptilians, and they're opposed to this deep national security state here.
Who is
in the United
this?
States. This is the Church of Scientology.
The Church of Scientologists.
Yeah, and they believe that they're entitled to all of the same sovereign immunity of any nation state, claiming they are entitled to at least the same status that the Catholic Church has.
And they're
That's just fascinating. So the Scientologists believe there's a war between reptilians and the Pleiadians. Now, to me, that seems a little comic booky that, the good guys look just like us and the evil villains look, evil reptilian guys, right? That seems a little too on the nose to me to be believable. But, it could explain some of what we're seeing, right? The control group working with some beings and shooting at other beings. As if humanity is engaged or, been involved in some sort of proxy war between different factions. Now, I don't quite buy the scenario that Danny has just laid out, or that the Church of Scientology has laid out. To me, that doesn't quite ring true. But, it is fascinating that the Scientologists do have such a connection to some of these programs and some of these key people. And the CIA may have actually been interested in what they were doing. So are they doing something interesting? Do they know something? Let me know your theories in the comments below. But speaking of the more woo-woo stuff, what about Uri Geller? Is Uri Geller legit? Now, from my research, I'm convinced that Uri Geller is legit. But what is Russell Targ, who helped found the remote viewing program that came into the CIA? What does he have to say about Uri?
Oh, I think that there were things we did with Uri were sound. The way we would do that, we had a whole bunch of pictures drawn by an artist, and they were in sealed envelopes. And basically, the initial experiments we did were with the vice president of SRI, and he would go to the safe and get a picture issued to him, which is to say they would give him a picture in a sealed envelope. He would give me the envelope, and I'd put it in my pocket. These simple drawings of automobiles, the moon, the building, and so forth. It's things that were, well, you've seen the drawings.
And they are eerily similar. There are so many times when Uri quite correctly gets a very accurate description of the target. And as you say, it was double blind. You had no idea what was in the envelope. They were all sealed.
That's right.
And, to me, those are very compelling experiments.
So there you go, Russell Targ talking about experiments they did with Uri that seemed to confirm his authenticity. Meanwhile, Elon Musk talks about a ship going to Mars next year. Starship departs for Mars at the end of next year, carrying Optimus. If those landings go well, then human landings may start as soon as 2029, although 2031 is more likely. So yeah, we could be going to Mars within the decade, guys. That's crazy. Meanwhile, Disclosure Party says here's a new clip of a UFO spotted in Bellingham, Washington during a live broadcast on King 5 Seattle this morning.
Looked like all the way through the weekend.
Wait for it.
Showing that full moon that's out there. We had the eclipse earlier in the evening.
Go out, look at that. I love that. They even have a direction change. That is not a shooting star. Okay, I've got to see that again. All right. Right around here. Look how it dips, goes down, and then it goes back up. Dips, goes down, goes back up. I think that's a great sighting. I don't think that can be explained by a bird or a bug or a shooting star. Definitely not a satellite. I think that is just a fantastic sighting. Yeah, I love that it was captured live by a news crew. It makes you wonder if that UFO revealed itself deliberately. Was it putting on a show for us, guys? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. Also, Discord and Rumble. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. If you like science fiction or fantasy novels, I'm a novelist. You can buy my most recent book, The Bounty, book 1 of my Cosmic Road series, in the link below. You can become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.